Hey guys, I'm all set up. How are you? Live with Keto Chow and hey. Hi, Katie. Hey, Erin.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, the camera.
There it goes.
The camera's backwards.
It was backwards. Hi.
It's working.
Sure is.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear us okay?
I can hear you perfect. This is amazing.
Perfect.
Great.
Oh my gosh, Aaron's here and he says he's actually going to try to record it because I was just talking to him about how to do it on a YouTube video.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
And he's like a genius.
Okay. Well, sometimes when you finish, there's a download, but I don't know.
Yeah. It doesn't give you the option to download if it's an Instagram live interview. It gives you the option to download if it's just you talking, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here we are talking.
How are you guys?
Doing well.
Good,
Today was a little crazy. We're getting ready to go to Los Angeles for the Metabolic Health Summit.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, we have to get up at 5 tomorrow morning.
No, we have to leave.
Oh, yeah, we have
at
to
5.
leave. Yeah, that's right.
Oh my gosh.
So we're going to get to bed soon.
Oh my gosh. All 6 of them.
Well,
no, just us.
Just us.
That's all good. It's all good.
Our children have abandonment issues.
Yeah, they actually get themselves up and ready to go to school all by themselves.
That's it.
Well, some of them.
Yeah, they help each other out.
So Brian's upstairs trying to put Mason down to bed. So he's just 4.5 months old, and we're just like, I have to do the live, so you have to put him down.
That's bad.
She's disappointed that she doesn't get to see the baby.
I want to see the
Oh,
baby.
I'm sorry. Okay, next time I'll send you a picture. Miriam, how do I pronounce your name?
You're saying it right, Miriam.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
It was on our list of names for a daughter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, just the way you say it. Okay, well, I'm so excited to have you guys here. I'm just saying hi to Amber and Jen and Megan. These are just and Abby. Oh my gosh, these are just some of our awesome customer friends. We call them customer friends because that's just how it is.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, are you guys ready to start?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bring it on.
I have everything here. I even pulled out our personal stash. I have the cookies and
Nice.
cream, the strawberries.
You don't want to see our personal
Yeah,
stash.
it's a little large.
We have a cupboard.
That's good. My fridge at night now is just filled with little blender bottles. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. Oh, sorry. That's you see my stairs. Okay. So I have hey, Mark. Okay. So I have a first question I wanted to just start with is just what is Keto Chow, the meal replacement shakes, and what's in it?
Yeah. You want to, I'm proud. Okay. I tend to dominate the conversation.
It's because he's smarter.
So I'm going to let Miriam answer as many questions as possible because otherwise
I listened to the Keto Connect podcast and I saw that.
I don't try.
Well, he says all the smart words and I start talking and then I start bumbling over my words and it's like, you know what, if it works, that's fine.
No.
I can say this part.
Okay.
Keto Chow is an ultra low carb meal replacement shake.
Yeah.
It's a milk protein isolate. You put your own fat in it, and we recommend heavy cream, butter, or avocado oil. And then it has all these yummy nutrients and minerals and electrolytes for what you need for a third of your daily caloric needs.
And nutritional.
Nutritional.
Not just caloric, but that's kind of the key differentiator between just Keto Chow and
a protein shake.
You get a protein shake and you drink it and then an hour later you're eating a meal.
Right. 100%.
The idea of Keto Chow is that's a meal. This right here is literally my dinner. That's all I'm having. So I think it's Snickerdoodle, which is delicious. Made with butter, by the way. I didn't heat it up. I forgot to do that. But it's designed to be everything. So you don't have to you don't have to have a snack and then have something else later. Yeah.
What's so nice about Keto Chow is you can have your really delicious meat and fancy meals with your Keto Chow or keto dessert that you make with your family.
Yeah.
And take all this time to prepare it and have breakfast and lunch as a Keto Chow.
Yeah.
So you can not have to mess up the kitchen 3 times and then clean the kitchen 3 times and do all the dishes 3 times.
Yeah, 'cause not all of us spend all day making Instagram-worthy keto dinners.
It'd be nice if
We don't?
but we just also have lives and jobs.
Yes. So that's kind of, we get a lot of people who are like, well, you know, a meal replacement shake isn't real food. It's like, okay, well, if you have time to make amazing food,
Right.
3 meals a day, that's great. That is ideal. I'd love to do that. I have to work, and my kids can't seem to do anything except for make toast. So
We're not having that.
no, there isn't. We have to every once in a while. Okay, this is great. One of our daughters was actually 2 of our daughters.
They were doing a date
Yes.
over here.
They were going to be cooking stuff.
They were
Okay.
having like a dessert contest. They
Yeah.
came up with this on their own.
Right.
And one of our, well, actually a couple of our daughters are doing keto, but one of the ones who was planning it was talking to Miriam, and she does keto, and he was like, so do we need to buy any special ingredients?
Like sugar and flour.
And we did, because we had no flour.
Yeah.
So
That's amazing.
anyway, so yeah, it's designed to give you everything you need. Now there's only a couple places where it falls short. I can't get omega-3s into there, or else it tastes like fish.
Okay. Yeah.
And you can just take omega-3 fish oil if you
Or
are,
eat some fish.
or eat some fish. That would be delicious too. And this is if you're doing 3 a day, which is not what we tell people to do.
Yeah.
You can. It's designed so that you can do that if you choose, but it's not a requirement. Most people do it 1 or 2 times a day. Anyway, if you're doing it 3 times a day, like for 100 days because you're crazy,
Yeah.
then you do need omega-3s. And if you are a female with a monthly cycle, and you know who you are, you need to take an iron supplement.
Okay.
Because the level of iron that they need causes a dangerous iron buildup in a man who isn't donating blood every week.
And not every week, every month.
Well, no, you have to do it actually 3 times a month. Anyway,
Okay.
no, every
But
third
that's
week.
only
Anyway,
if you're doing it 3 times a day.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it 3 times a day, like half of the time, and I don't need to take those because in my other meals I'm getting enough.
steak.
Got it.
Yeah.
I'm eating steak and fish and
Yeah.
all kinds of good things. So
And the only other thing where it's a little lower than I'd like is salt, sodium specifically.
Yeah.
And I'd like to have it higher, but we get people who are new to keto tend to think that Keto Chow is really salty.
Mm-hmm.
And so, which I think is kind of crazy, but okay.
Yeah.
So if you have been doing keto a long time, it's very easy to add salt and you're golden.
Okay.
But taking salt out is really difficult. Actually, it's impossible. But so a lot of people who think it's too sweet will add salt to it.
Right.
But other than that, you should be getting all the potassium, the magnesium, the molybdenum, all of the stuff that you need. Everything, yeah.
That's amazing. You know, and Maren was actually asking that question because she just said it interesting. And guys, if you have any questions, please put them in, and I'll ask, because I'm seeing some coming through, and I'm going to ask Chris and Miriam at the end. But we just keep typing them in while it's fresh in your head. So she was asking, what was your process to creating Keto Chow, and just kind of how did you figure out what was important to have in it?
All right. Miriam can actually answer this question.
So Chris wanted to make a shake for himself, and he wanted to do keto at the same time. So he researched a bunch of different like DIY shakes, recipes that were online, and made one with like chia seeds and coconut flour and all
raw
this other
cocoa
stuff, and it was nasty. Like, it was really gross. But he drank it for like a week.
No, I drank it for 3 months.
No, it wasn't 3 months.
October through January.
You didn't
1st.
drink it that long.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
It's on the blog. All this entire process.
It's true.
This entire process is documented.
Okay,
on
he
the
drank
blog.
it for a while and whined about it.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I would hold my nose and chug it down as fast as
He
I
also
could.
got keto flu because there
Yes.
wasn't enough salt in it. So as he was learning about, making different shakes, because he wanted to make it for himself,
Right.
he was learning about all the different minerals and elements and vitamins and nutrients that he needed. And, instead of just going off the U.S. Guidelines, he looked at all over the place guidelines and
Turns
why
out
and where.
Norway has a lot better science.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
They have better guidelines than we have. But anyway, it was just experimenting on himself for a long time before we even put it into a shake and on the market.
And what was my motivation?
You're so laziness.
I'm excessively lazy.
That's what he said. You work so hard.
What Miriam prefers, I'm relentlessly optimizing. If I can take, 4 hours to save myself 30 minutes, but it's going to happen.
It's a long 4 hours,
day.
though. That's what I see.
Yeah.
I see the 4 hours. I'm like, I don't see how this is saving you any time. But
That's right.
How he works.
It's literally for us. I mean, it's just after we became parents, and even before that, we work a lot. It's just really difficult, honestly, just to put food on the table and have 3 meals a day and then clean up. It just takes like 6 hours. Don't have the time. I can't do it.
When I used to stay home with my kids, which was not that long ago, actually.
No, it wasn't.
It was just before Keto Chow. I had one of my girlfriends who worked say, "What do you do all day?" And I'm like, I clean up the room, and then I clean up the same room. Also, I clean up another room, and then I clean up they just make messes, and then I just clean up. That's all I do all day.
Right.
And then you do laundry.
And I do laundry, and I make food, and then I clean up the food, and then I clean up, make more food, and then same thing over and over. Like, that kind of sounds not that exciting now that now that I say it out loud.
Yeah, but this was all I wanted something super easy.
Yeah, I love it.
I wanted fuel is what it was. Yeah. I wanted the stupid meals. I just wanted to get them taken care of, not have it be disgusting, get the right nutrition,
and do keto,
and then be able to have bacon and eggs for breakfast on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, with our family.
That's great.
Delicious. And we can all sit down and enjoy each other's company and not have to worry about work. And
yeah. But I didn't go to school for any of this. This is simply learning. It's really amazing what you can learn when you're motivated by laziness.
I personally, I think that's such a big compliment, because I do not think you're lazy. I have been through your entire website, and the way that you've documented your journey on 100 days on Keto Chow. There's blood profile. There's blood profiles. There's all these graphs, charts, measurements, and I'm that person. If you're talking lazy, I skip to what's the takeaway? What's the takeaway I need to have?
Yeah.
Use butter. That's the takeaway.
That's what we learned from that.
Yeah, no, 100%. So a lot of our Canadian customer friends are getting these for the first time.
Yes.
And we have a sample pack that's going with the chocolate, the vanilla, the strawberry, and the cookies and cream.
Nice.
What would you, and you have a Reddit community of 20,000 people. I go in there all the time and get ideas. What would you, how would you tell someone to start? What's the best way to start with Keto Chow?
So
grab a couple samples and give it a try.
Yeah.
Just like you said you did like a 4 sample bundle, that'd be perfect.
Yeah,
okay.
Seriously, if you're just trying it out, grab a shaker bottle, put about 100 milliliters of, let's see, what do they call it in Canada? Is it double cream?
Yeah, it's heavy cream.
38% fat cream.
Yeah.
How about that?
40 if you're lucky.
Or if you're lucky, 40. Put about 100 milliliters or 118 if you want 4 ounces or a half cup. I guess it depends on how Canadian you really are, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so put that much heavy cream in there. Add the packet of Keto Chow. Add water to about the 20 ounce or 600 milliliter. Is it 600? Yeah. 600 milliliter line. and just shake it up like a crazy person.
Yeah.
Just shake it real much.
Stick it in the fridge. It's actually better if you let it sit overnight.
Yeah.
And it lasts up to 6 days. So you can mix up a bunch of them and just try them. And that's just to see what you like, because the samples, I mean, it's not the cheapest way to get Keto Chow. The bigger bags are a lot more economical.
Yeah.
And then once you find out which ones you like,
then you can just buy that.
get the big one. No, that comes with a scoop, so
Right.
people can measure out. Okay, here's that, and we will do like mixing parties. There's actually, I just noticed in the fridge there are 2 Keto Chows that say Max's. Our oldest son, he mixed up some his own, and he's claimed them. And that's because when Miriam and I will mix up ours, we will literally do 20
At a time.
Amazing.
Yeah,
or
we
so.
Yeah.
We do all the blender bottles we have.
Yep.
Yeah.
We do them all, and then we stick them in the fridge, and then the kids steal them. Which I guess is a good endorsement that it tastes good, but
Well, because then they're just lazy and they don't have to make themselves food.
and it's better that than toast. So,
Yeah, which we don't keep bread, so I don't
Yeah.
know why you keep preferring toast.
but once you know what you like,
Right.
you get the big bags. Let's say you got a big bag of vanilla. Vanilla is really versatile.
Okay.
You can add in different flavorings to it. Like you get some sugar-free syrups. You get some powdered peanut butter. We know a lot of people who will make it with tea or with coffee.
Wow. Yeah.
Some people will make it with, there's a company called One-on-One Flavors that
Yeah.
sells these flavor extracts.
Yeah.
It's just flavor.
Yep.
You make some vanilla, put some of, I don't know, apple in it.
Yep.
A little while before you drink it. Boom, you've got an apple shake.
One of our workers today put in Fruit Loops
Oh, did-
flavoring.
did they
He's
really?
like, it tasted like that milk from the bowl, and I'm like, oh, gross. But he liked it, so whatever.
Well, I've done it with lemon, and I mean, we actually have a flavor hacks
Okay.
page on our site of just all the different stuff that people have talked about.
I love that.
So, but yeah, the number one flavor hacks are use coffee or tea instead of water.
Yeah.
Throw in some powdered peanut butter. Put in some flavored sugar-free syrups.
Make it thicker so it's like pudding.
We have people who add like gelatin to it to make it like pudding,
Make it thick.
or they'll flat out add some like sugar-free Jello,
Love that.
and then like eat it with a spoon. And it's like, okay. We also have about 100 recipes on our site.
Awesome.
So and it's random things like drop biscuits or there's
Chicken cordon bleu casserole.
chicken cordon bleu casserole.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of just really wacko out there stuff.
My most exciting thing that I want to try is making ice cream.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's so
yes.
easy because you just make Keto Chow like normal and just dump it in the ice cream maker.
Now, it does work better if
Yeah.
you use heavy cream as the fat source.
Okay.
Now, and you talked about this a little bit before, but so you can use different fats.
Yes.
And that's one of the key strengths that we go for with Keto Chow is we're not putting powdered MCT oil. We're not putting powdered whatever in there. You are able to choose the type of fat that works for you and the amount of fat that works for you.
Amazing.
So if you want to make ice cream out of Keto Chow, use heavy cream. Works fantastic. You can do it with an ice cream maker, like a churner,
Right.
or you can use it with like a blender and just throw a bunch of ice in there,
Which
blend it
that's
up.
the fast way to make ice cream.
Yeah, that's a super fast way. You can use avocado oil.
Right.
If you're willing to do a little bit of extra work and melt it, you can use butter.
Amazing.
You can use, and I actually prefer salted butter and just the cheap stuff from Costco.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get the grass-fed stuff, or you could use ghee. You can use all sorts of stuff, but you could also use coconut oil. With some of the savory flavors, you can use bacon fat.
Wow.
We have a guy who did duck fat with his spicy taco one.
Wow.
Yeah. But you can use the type of fat you want and the amount of fat, and that is up to you to customize it however you want. So I use 183 grams of butter to make 3 of these at a time. Then I just pour it out. into 3 different containers. You
And I'm
use,
using 145 grams of butter
so there you go.
to make 3.
And
Okay.
hers have a little thing on the top that
pink
says
piece of
Miriam.
And the kids say, "Can I have a keto chow, Mom? Just don't take a pink one."
Yeah, so they take mine.
Or, yes, you may take a pink one because I love you.
That's right.
So you went through the different types of fat, and what I liked that you explained on the Keto Connect podcast was that when protein shakes powders come with fat, usually it's with maltodextrin, or you need some sort of fiber to process fat.
Yeah.
Is that the case?
That is the case, and we were talking about this just the other day. One of the first times we went to KetoCon.
Right.
Miriam she likes to make friends with people.
Yeah.
And so she'll go around and she's like, "We're a shake company. You're a shake company.
We need to be friends.
We need to be friends."
Who cares if we're competitors? We're all in this to improve people's lives.
But
It's true.
But she was asking some of them. She's like, "So you have an MCT powder?"
I said, "What is it dried on?" And not any of them knew what it was dried on. Not even
It
one.
has to
and
be
these are
dried
like
on
the
something.
owners, the creators of the companies.
Right.
And so it's just interesting that they didn't know.
Because it has to be dried on something.
Okay.
You can use starch, maltodextrin.
Mm-hmm.
You can use, dextrose, You can use soluble corn fiber, which is what Quest does.
Yeah.
Right.
Some of the soluble corn fiber is legit.
Yes.
No, it's starch.
There's still not a ton of research done on the soluble corn
Yeah,
fiber.
that's true. You can use sodium caseinate or casein protein powder.
Right.
But it's very difficult to find fats that are dried on that, and it doesn't work very well.
Yeah.
Or you can use acacia gum.
Yeah.
Which is actually pretty cool stuff. We use acacia gum in Keto Chow, and that's actually what makes it so that when you use warm water and melted butter and blend Keto Chow, it stays blended. Like this right here, this snickerdoodle that I made, this has butter in it. There are no chunks.
Okay.
It doesn't separate.
Yep.
And I just got it out of the fridge. So, but the other thing about doing a dried protein, a dried fat like that is just, looking at it pragmatically, if you're going to get 400 calories of, just to name a number, 400 calories of fat, if it's in a powdered form, number one, it's going to have more volume and it's going to have more weight. Just because it has to be dried on something. And you still have those original 400 calories of fat, but now it's in a powdered form.
Right.
And so that's going to increase shipping costs. It's going to increase the cost of the product. The customer is now limited in what they can choose as far as a fat source.
Mm-hmm. And the amount of fat.
Yeah, and the amount of fat. So they're pegged at that as a lower threshold.
Right.
We actually have people who like to use Keto Chow for what's called a protein-sparing modified fast.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of out there stuff, but
which means they don't use fat at all.
Yeah, they're doing a ketogenic diet without the fat.
So they're doing tons of protein.
It's really interesting stuff. It's not the sort of thing you want to use long term, but a lot of people will use it for like a really intense cut.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Anyway, but you can use Keto Chow for that because you're getting all the protein you need,
right?
All of the vitamins you need. It's everything but the fat.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really versatile in that. But yeah, so that's one of the reasons why we don't include any fat. And sometimes if you go on the Amazon US page,
right,
and you look at the reviews for Keto Chow, the number one most helpful review has 1 star, and it says, "How can this be keto? It has no fat."
Yeah. True, because it doesn't have any fat.
They also say it has a lot of sugar in it, and there's a lot of comments on that review. They're like, "What are you talking about?"
Right.
You didn't put the ingredient.
Anyway,
like, highlight it on this for me because I didn't see it.
Woohoo! We're spinning. But yeah, so we don't include the fat because we want you to have the ability to do what you want, and that could include doing something as crazy as putting your health on the line and doing a 100-day experiment where you want to see what different types of fat do in isolation
right,
as the only variable in an experiment, which is unprecedented, and it was really interesting, and I missed eating meat.
Food.
Yeah.
But it was good data.
How from that experiment, what was sort of your? I mean, I've read all of it, but I know you said butter is the best source. But what are some of your? How did you feel on 100 days of Keto Chow?
So, well, I was chewing sugar-free gum.
Yes.
So it wasn't like I was missing chewing. Although I did get a crown about 2/3 of the way through and stopped chewing sugar-free gum, and I was actually really happy that I wasn't eating solid food, because it actually hurt for another 6 months. Turns out that it was too high. I just got it fixed.
Okay.
Anyway,
I'm glad.
but one of the reasons I did it was I did an earlier experiment where I did just Keto Chow for 28 days, no gum, no diet soda, no anything but Keto Chow water and salt. Mm-hmm. That was it. And one of the weeks I was doing it, my triglycerides went really high, and my HDL cholesterol went really low, that is not what you want. Yeah. I don't really care what my LDL does or my total cholesterol. That can go wherever it wants, but I don't want my HDL to go down, and I don't want my triglycerides to go up. And that particular week, it did. And that was a week where I was doing just avocado oil as the fat.
Okay.
Except that I had powdered MCT oil that I forgot to account for when I was doing all the stuff. And so in this later experiment, I wanted to see, okay, what does heavy cream do to my lipid system?
Right.
For 2 weeks. Nothing is changing except that. What does avocado oil do? What does avocado oil with MCT oil do? And what does butter do? And so by using that as the only variable I was playing with, I was able to get, it was the MCT oil. It jacked up my triglycerides, and it crashed my HDL. Doing avocado oil alone without it was just fine. I've actually in the past done coconut oil, liquid coconut oil, which it's mostly MCT.
Yeah.
There's an upper tolerable limit for human consumption of MCT oil, and I was exceeding it by 4 times.
Wow.
So that's smart. If you want to clean out, there you go.
Yes, don't do that. But the week that I was doing that, I didn't have any problems with my triglycerides or my HDL. So to have it go just wonky where avocado oil and the only thing is I'm adding MCT, that's another reason why we don't include MCT oil in the mixture. Because we don't want to force people to, okay, you will have this whether you like it or not.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. We had Amber ask a question about sweeteners. And so, so some of our customer friends, I would say, some of them struggle in any case with sweeteners because they do say that, one of the things she said was that she tries to stay away from sweeteners because for her, they cause sugar cravings.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then she craves more. So if you can tell us a little bit about does Keto Chow, I mean, it might come down to the individual, but does it, amongst your customers, has it necessitated sugar cravings? And then my second question is, why sucralose?
Yeah. So mostly with our customers, we hear that they're using it as a treat. So it's like, okay, well, I'm going to have it as my dinner because then I feel like I'm having ice cream like I used to when I'm watching a movie with my husband. So it's like, okay, well, I know I'm going to have this one treat and that's my meal. Yeah. And so making it into ice cream, it really feels like a treat, but it's your meal. Right. And it really fills you up. And then you can stay away from, more sweeteners if you want to.
I don't hear very many people complaining that it triggered them to have more sweets. And I haven't noticed that myself. That's actually why I did that 28-day, the original experiment, where I didn't do anything else. I was not getting any aspartame. I was not getting any ACE-K. I've never been able to figure out how to pronounce that one, the potassium one. But I just wanted to see in isolation, using Keto Chow, which does use sucralose, and we're going to get into that in just a second. Does that work? Does that support a ketogenic diet? Was I super hungry all the time? Was I being triggered for other stuff? What did it do with no other variables? And as far as N equals me, it was just great. And we have a huge community of people that kind of support that. So, but everyone's going to be different. For some people, like they cannot have anything sweet.
Right.
It's like 1 is too many and 10 is not enough.
Yeah. Well, and just like any other food, like any other carb or sweet thing, I have to stay away from certain things. Like I have to be 10 miles away from that. If it's in my house, I'm going to cave. And so we don't buy those things.
Yeah.
And we don't, go buy them in the grocery store. Like we just don't even walk by them because I like them so much and have a relationship with them is what I say.
Yes.
With potatoes, like I just,
Red Robin French fries.
We don't go to Red Robin because that's where I would really want those things. And I don't want to have that discord with myself. And so if you can't do sweeteners, then it makes sense for your health. Don't do sweeteners.
Yep. Now we do have 4 options, actually 5, that do not have any sweetener at all. The savory flavors, the savory chicken soup, the tomato basil, the taco soup, the beef base, and what we call the base powder.
Yeah.
Those are all sweetener free. The base powder is actually, we originally came up with that for our friends up in the Great White North because it's everything but the sweetened flavored protein. So you add that to a suitable protein powder like Dimetize Elite or MyProtein or IsoPure or one of those, and it adds in all the vitamins and everything else that differentiates Keto Chow from the other protein powders into that, and kind of make it Keto Chow. So we can ship 5 of those in the same flat rate package as one of the big mix. But it doesn't taste as good. But
Well, in our opinion.
But with that, and a lot of people are like, well, when are you going to come out with one that uses pea protein or egg white protein or uses stevia? It's like, well, you can add the base powder to that.
Right.
You can do anything you want with base powder.
So, and we haven't launched, actually have not tried the base powder. We are trying all your soups. We have them.
Okay.
So it'll be really interesting if our Canadian customer friends come back and say, you know what, we'd like to see the base powder, because then we can definitely launch that. Or I'll probably order that from you next time to try it myself, because I'm kind of excited about that.
Well, it is interesting. We don't sell a lot of it. It's a very edge case.
Right.
But it's for international who don't have access to an awesome thing like Switch Grocery.
Yeah.
For people who really have to customize it to the way that they want. They like their protein powder.
Right.
They just want to add in all the vitamins, minerals, electrolytes, all that.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing, and it gets a lot. It satisfies the needs of a lot of people who have very specific stuff that they need.
Well, and they can use the sweetener that they want or the protein that they want.
Now let's talk about sweetener.
Yes.
So we do use sucralose, and for some people, sucralose and Splenda are the same thing.
Right.
They're not. So Splenda is the commercially available version of sucralose. And just to get into a little bit of the weeds, to make sucralose, you take a sucrose molecule, just regular old sucrose, and you attach a chlorine to it. That's it. The same chlorine that's in salt. Attach it onto there. For some reason, that makes it 600 times sweeter, and it makes it so that humans cannot metabolize it. So it actually comes right out. But there's very little of it, the whole 600 times sweeter. In this entire bottle of Keto Chow, there is 0.08 grams.
Wow.
Which is roughly the size of a head of a pin.
Wow.
Or the head of a toothpick.
Yeah, like you take a flat toothpick and you scoop some like powdered sugar out. Okay, what would eating that much powdered sugar do to you? Like nothing.
Right.
It would. I think according to my calculations, I actually wrote all this up once. It would increase the average person's blood glucose by like 5 milligrams per deciliter. Not a big deal. Or we're talking about
That's
like
sugar.
if it was pure sugar.
Not,
it would
not super.
it would have like that much of that small of an effect.
Right.
Okay, now that's blood sugar. Now when you go to the store and you buy Splenda, the Splenda packets, in order to make it so that they can measure it the same as sugar, they take starch. It's maltodextrin. They have like 99.99% maltodextrin, and they add a little tiny bit of sucralose.
So that it can measure like sugar.
Yep. Now, legally, it's sugar-free because it's a polysaccharide. Mm-hmm. You've got multiple glucose molecules chained together, maltodextrin, and then a little bit of sucralose. The problem is, as soon as it hits your saliva, the enzymes in your saliva break apart the starch, immediately turn it into glucose, and it spikes your blood sugar. So it will spike it sometimes even more. Having sugar-free, maltodextrin Splenda than just eating flat-out sugar. Mm-hmm. Because table sugar is fructose and glucose, whereas this is just glucose in a big giant chain. So a lot of people, Splenda does have a bad rap. Yeah. And it's because people conflate Splenda and sucralose. Now, there have been some rat studies, and this is interesting stuff, where they gave the rats the equivalent of basically 60 servings of Keto Chow.
It'd be ridiculous. No one can eat that.
And lo and behold, that caused gut bacteria changes. Mm-hmm. So when we're talking about, for a human adult, to get the amount of sucralose that they were giving to the rats relative to body size, yeah, it would be absolutely crazy. You would have to have it in pill form,
right?
Because there's no way that you would be able to ingest it. Your body would just reject it outright. It'd be so sweet, you would be disgusted. So, yes, there are studies that show that there are changes with rats if you give them an insane amount. But number one, humans are not rats. Number two, you're not ingesting that much sucralose. And number three, it's really a tiny amount.
Okay.
So
I love that.
Anyway, the other reason why we did it, and I guess this actually should have been, is the better reason. Sucralose tastes better to the majority of people than any other sweetener we have tried, and we've tried them all. We've tried stevia. We get a lot of people all the time. They're like, please tell me this doesn't have stevia in it. I'm like, no, it doesn't. Oh, thank you. We do have a flavor that has monk fruit, which it's not legal in Canada, but that's the natural strawberry. Yeah. It doesn't taste the same. It kind of has a fruity flavor and a bit of an aftertaste.
Okay.
Whereas the sucralose just tastes like sugar. We paid a company to do a blind taste test comparing our stuff to 4 of our competitors, and
who we're friends with.
Who we are friends with, which is why we don't tell you who they are.
Right.
We just say, and most of those were using a blend of erythritol, stevia, and monk fruit, or some permutation. Yeah. We blew them out of the water.
Amazing.
And that comes back to, I use Keto Chow for the majority of my food.
Right.
And if it doesn't taste absolutely amazing, when I'm done drinking one, if I'm not like shaking it a little bit, and it's gone, especially with chocolate peanut butter. Oh, yeah. A meal replacement that isn't absolutely delicious isn't very valuable as a meal replacement, because you're not going to want to drink it. You're going to be like me, drinking that one that I originally had that was ground up chia seeds and coconut flour, and it was so gritty. It tasted like an almond joy that went through It tasted like an almond joy that went through a blender.
Except not sweet.
Yeah. It was, anyway. So, that's not what we want. The end user experience that we want to go for is you're sad when it's empty.
I love that.
And majority of people agree that we nailed it. So.
I love it. Can I just say how much I love talking to you guys? Like, and this is where I think I'm just so proud of what we do at Switch, because we found you, and people who are like me, I don't have the passion to do that level of research that you did. And I just think it's just so important to have, like, it's so important for the people who own their companies to almost be so knowledgeable and say, I will not sell this until I eat it. I feed my kids this stuff. And so like this is, Brian's like, actually fun. But no, it's just, that's how, that's why, that's why I feel comfortable having it on Switch, because when we were writing the blog post about why Keto Chow, I was just like, okay, first of all, I don't know how I feel about meal replacements. Now I'm a mom, I have a small business, nobody's got time for that. And I need something, and I need to get it from someone I trust. And then you guys don't give yourselves any compliments. You're so humble, but like what you have created here is phenomenal. And it has helped, just like, now I'm going to start crying a little bit, but it's helping me so much just get through the day as like a new mother and trying to run a business and being able to like actually sell it to customers and say, guys, like, I know the people behind this, and they're amazing. They've done it all, so we don't have to go do that. And just that, the level of comfort I have with sucralose and what you just told me, like, it's just, guys, like, congratulations. That's like, you've done so much and just so well.
Well, Miriam was actually, 2 days ago. Are we really helping people? Are we doing good?
I was laying in my bed, I was ready to cry, and I'm like, I really think we're helping people. Are we really helping people? Because I
think
really want to be helping
So thank you. We really appreciate that.
And really, at the end of the day, what you're giving people back is something that money can't buy, and it's time. Right? Like, that's all we can get. I can make all the money I want, which I'm not, but I'm just saying, like, I could go, I'll make $10 million, but I can't spend that to buy my time back. And I feel like that's really what, to me, Keto Chow is selling, is time. And then just the look on Brian's face, where every night he smiles and he goes to the kitchen and then he takes out the chocolate and he's like, I'm going to make my Keto Chow. Do you want one for tomorrow? Because I'm going to make mine.
See, he needs to up his game. Make them a couple days at a time.
I know. Chris, he didn't know
After
that.
4 days, they get legit good.
They're yummy.
Like, you think they're good now? Wait until they've been in the fridge for 4 days.
Okay, now you're going to cause a whole night where Brian's just going to take all the flavors and make 10 Keto Chows tonight.
Yeah. That's what you should do.
Don't make more than you can eat in 6 days.
Yeah, 6 days.
Okay.
That's how long you can make them last.
Also, you can store them in mason jars, just so you know.
Yeah, if you don't have enough blender bottles.
Okay, done. Mason jars. And we have
He says I'm doing that tonight. Nice.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to kind of do a little bit of like, with 10 minutes, 15 maybe, and I'm going to do kind of a speed round of questions. We actually sold out right now of the electrolytes, the magnesium drops, and we're almost sold out of the fasting drops.
Okay.
Can we talk about these? Because they're amazing.
Yeah.
This is Miriam's baby.
Amazing. They are my baby. So I don't like get headaches a lot, but I was finding that I was getting like leg cramps at night, and then headaches like enough that I feel like I was taking ibuprofen every day.
Me too.
But I never felt like I had like migraines, so I had to go to the doctor for it. It was just like dumb headaches.
Right.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
There's
And
the lid.
I felt like I was, drinking all the water I needed and everything, and looking at electrolyte stuff.
Yep.
Like I never wanted to buy anything. I didn't want all the weird sweeteners. We already have enough weird sweeteners all the time. But we happened to find this at a trade show. We were actually at FitCon.
Yeah, we were at FitCon.
And we ran into these
across
people.
From these guys.
Across from it, we sat and talked to them for hours because we were at a booth next to them at the show. And they had this thing that didn't taste like anything.
Yeah.
Like, I'm drinking their water and it tastes like nothing.
It's slightly salty.
And
That's it.
It's so great.
Amazing.
So we talked to them and figured out how to get a hold of it. And, we got the electrolyte drops, which we actually originally called fasting drops. So we just started carrying those because it's the balance sodium, potassium, magnesium. And it does have trace minerals in it also. And it's from the Great Salt Lake, which we live right here next to the Salt Lake. So it's not hard to get. And so we, started carrying that, and man, it helps with headaches and leg cramps. I hardly ever get cramps in my feet at night, but I just couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
So.
And then Miriam's like,
yeah,
they have a magnesium supplement. I need a magnesium supplement. Let's do that.
Yeah.
So that's the Mag Drops. So for headaches, for cramps, for problems sleeping. Because you do like a half a cap full.
Do, or a full cap full at night when I'm going to go to sleep. It helps me calm down, which I have a hard time falling asleep at night. Yeah. It helps me calm down. It helps with those leg cramps and just helps me feel better. And especially I've been working out pretty hard with keto conduct.
You work out?
Yeah, I work out. And so I'm having muscle, aches, and it even helps with that.
Yeah.
The magnesium does.
So potassium and sodium are what cause your muscles to contract.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And magnesium is what's used to let them relax.
Okay.
And so if you have, and my mom and my brothers, we are so fortunate. We have this inordinately, extremely high requirement for magnesium. If I'm not taking, it's in addition to Keto Chow, which is
which has magnesium,
has 280 milligrams of magnesium a day.
Yeah.
I needed another 300 milligrams a day, or else I get cramps in my quadriceps.
Which he discovered when he started doing keto.
Yes.
So he's drinking this growth shake, and even probably a year after that, he's just trying to formulate the shake the way he wanted it, and he's like, my leg hurts, my leg always hurts, my legs hurts.
Yeah, so I just kept on upping the magnesium.
Figured out that he just needs more than everybody else, and so just having that is just really nice.
And I love where it's sourced from too. It's just great that it's right next to you guys.
Yeah. Well, and it's the area of the Great Salt Lake. So the Great Salt Lake is big. The area that it's from is the north arm of the Great Salt Lake, which is actually divided from the rest of the lake by a railroad causeway. And there's no industrial runoff going into there. There's no microplastics. There's no agriculture stuff that's going into that. It's just the water from the desert sort of thing.
The minerals.
But we had what we used to call the fasting drops. Now we call the electrolyte drops.
Right.
And we were talking with Megan Ramos from IDM, and she's
she says, this is really great.
Yeah.
But my patients with renal failure, with their kidneys having problems, they can't have this much potassium. I would love it if you had something with sodium and just a lot less potassium. And we're like, well, we could do that.
So we did.
So we went back to our people and we said, I want this, and I want it to have as much sodium as you can take without
it crystallizing in the bottle.
Yeah, so that's how the fasting drops were born. So Megan Ramos just helped us with that, and it's really nice because sometimes you really can't have that potassium. I mean, everybody's so different, right?
Yeah.
And so we've got the electrolytes that have all three, the magnesium that's primarily magnesium. All three of them still have the same stuff: magnesium, potassium, and sodium. But then the fasting drop just has a lot of sodium. So I mean, especially if you're fasting, you could do a whole bunch of the fasting drops.
Yeah, one of the little bottles. If you're doing fasting and you're not taking any of the fasting,
little bottles a day.
Yeah, it's a bottle a day. You really want to go for it.
And you'll feel so great.
Yeah, or you can use just real salt or table salt. But if you want to just have it in your water, and the cool thing is, all of the stuff that's in there is already dissolved.
Yeah,
it's all going to be absorbed. It doesn't have any weird, sand in the bottom of your glass. It's not going to add a flavor. It's not going to add a color or caffeine or calories or sweetener. It's just electrolytes. That's it. And we tried to price it as low as we could and just make enough money to pay for it.
Yeah.
So
because people need to have this.
Yeah. So you've got the little pocket bottle.
Yeah.
And then you've got a larger one that comes with an empty little one.
Right.
So that you can fill it up.
Yeah.
And we just we're like, why don't we just get that in there for free? So that's what we did.
And the magnesium drops are bitter. I don't know if you've tasted them.
Yes.
They're not very tasty,
By
but
themselves.
they work really good.
Yeah.
So I'll take that, capful or half a capful, put it with a little bit of water, shoot it down, and then just follow it up with more water.
Okay.
And they just really work. And you can put them in with, flavored drinks or coffee or anything. You just have to be aware that it will change the flavor of your drink put too much in. So
Okay.
And we came home from a conference not too long ago, and I had a headache like crazy from the plane flight. And I should know that every time I fly on the plane, I need to take like a cap full of magnesium before I go.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we actually went to Buffalo Wild Wings, and we were sitting there, and I had my drink, and we started passing around the table the magnesium, and we would fill up our straws, just stick the little squeezy in the thing, and then just suck it back. And yeah, it's bitter.
But then it's gone.
It's
Because
gone.
you drink it and then follow it up with whatever you're drinking. So it's a fun little trick that
Yeah.
gives you what you need right away, and it's just gone. So
And so is my headache.
yep,
Yeah.
it was really fast.
But yeah, that's the electrolytes.
I love
And
it.
you can, and the thing about the electrolytes is you can use them as frequently as you feel like it.
Okay.
So you don't have to do like the whole capful. You could really just put a few squirts in everything you drink, and then you would never taste it.
Yep. Or you could not use it at all. Or it's really up to you. And if you use too much,
Right.
it's just going to come out.
You're going to pee it out.
It's not going to poison
give
you.
you
Right?
problems.
Megan, one of our customer friends, she was asking if she would take your electrolytes in a day if she has a Keto Chow also.
So you can. So I actually had a headache today, and I did probably the equivalent of 3/4 of a cap of the magnesium drops,
Right.
just because I wanted to get rid of that headache.
Okay.
Even though I'm doing 3 Keto Chows, because I've been doing this long enough that I recognize if I feel like this, it means I need more sodium. And if I feel like that, it means I need more magnesium.
Awesome. Yeah. That
And
makes
so-
a lot of sense.
It's a lot like how much water should I drink? I don't know. Until you feel like you don't need any more.
Yeah.
Really, that's it. Use electrolytes until you feel like you don't need it.
Yeah. I think Megan's saying that she's always worried about too much potassium.
Yeah, so then just use the fasting drops.
Yeah.
Because they have a lot less potassium.
I think we have 7 minutes, so let me try to see what I
Aren't you
can.
supposed to be drinking wine or tea, by the way?
I am, but I was running around trying to get the baby down, and I actually, guys, for the first time in 4.5 months, put on some makeup for you both.
Oh, you're so nice.
Wow.
So, I couldn't.
I did not put on any makeup, so I did comb my
I have
beard.
makeup from this morning, and my hair's a little disheveled because we were grocery shopping and kind of running.
Nice.
We were running to get back here, so
She got here just in time.
I got here at 1.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Can I just say I want to visit you guys in Utah? I just want to come over.
Oh, you should. That'd be so fun.
So, incidentally
Bring your
enough,
baby.
Yeah. I mean, I have
we
to.
go to all these conferences. In fact, we were in Toronto back in like November
Yeah.
for the Great Canadian Keto Conference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But we didn't bring anything to sell because we had no into Canada.
Right.
And so we just brought a bunch of stuff to give
We just
away.
gave away a bunch of stuff.
It was actually a lot of fun. But we go to all these conferences, and we're like, we just kept on saying, man, we should do a conference. Man, we should do a conference. So last year in April,
I always get these weird ideas.
we did a conference here in Salt Lake.
Really?
And we're doing it again this April.
Are you?
We have a pretty solid lineup, and it's been really remarkable. We've just asked people. Megan is actually coming. Megan
It's been
Ramos.
so cool. So the first time we did the conference, we just asked a couple people. We said, "Hey, would you come speak for us?" And they're like, "Yeah." Really?
Like,
Really?
oh, that was it.
Oh, God, that's cool.
And we're like, we'll pay for your airfare and your hotel. Sweet. Oh, do conferences normally not do that? No.
What?
But we were more than happy to do it. We priced it super low, so yeah. But you can come anytime you want.
Yeah.
If you want to come to the conference, you can too. But
Done and done. Terry said, I was there when I received my magnesium drops and fasting drops in Toronto. That's so nice.
nice.
That's amazing. Okay. I have 5 minutes. I have two questions, and I really, really want to ask you.
By the way, we're not constrained for time.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that
So-
the IG Live automatically, the Instagram Live cuts you off.
You know what? I think you're right.
That's
Okay.
in like 5 minutes.
We'll talk.
Okay, so I have
Okay,
two questions in there for both of you. So maybe I'll ask them together, and you can just kind of summarize in a tip. So number one is time management, which is you have 6 children who are kind of growing into adults now, but 6 children, and you have a small business like I do, and I know what that takes. That's 24 hours of around the clock of work, right?
Any 15 hours a day you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any
My
15
tip,
hours.
have realistic expectations. Do not set yourself up to be disappointed.
Yeah.
If you got to do these things with your kids today, that's the most important thing. Have something that's realistic. If you're going to have, tortilla pizzas or whatever, that's fine.
Yep.
Just be happy to have your kids and be with them and have realistic expectations. Don't set yourself up to be disappointed about what you can accomplish. That's my tip.
And I turned off notifications for email on my phone.
So when he's home, he can be
I can be home.
I love that. Same thing with sort of mental health. So in Canada, today is Bell Let's Talk Day, which is, a day where mental health is prioritized. Yeah. And I guess I wanted to ask both of you, I really see you as role models, just by the way. And I just kind of want to ask how you prioritize, not even just each other, like as a couple, but just your own mental health through like a super busy life, basically. Like what is something that you guys do just for yourselves?
So we're pretty religious, and we do like some scripture study every day with our family.
Oh, that's so
in the morning before school. And then like I do baths, and he
I was
has
about
to
to say,
take a bath with me sometimes.
We bought a bath, and I should have expensed that as a business expense.
Yeah, because we have lots of
we have
in there.
more
it's
business
a very
meetings
big
in the bathtub than any, some of our best decisions.
But it's just how you relax.
Yeah.
You got to give yourself time, and you got to, like those realistic expectations.
Yep.
Take time for you, and make sure you take care of yourself.
And mine is lower your expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love this. I'm just going to call the slogan of lower your expectations, have realistic expectations, because then you're not disappointed.
By the way that you deal with having more than 3 children is just lower your expectations, because there's more of them than you.
You'll never have enough hands. Yep. You might as well just love where you're at and just be like, oh, well, the binky fell on the ground. I guess it's fine.
Yeah, moving on.
It's all good. Where can people find you? So you have the community on Reddit, you have it on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Can you talk about like whatever people are looking for? Like I would say that most of our customer friends are looking for like, tips, like do I start with avocado oil, butter, like what's like, it's more the tips and tricks. Like how do I incorporate, how much magnesium do I, like all of these things. Where do you think that they can find that?
Well, the YouTube, the Keto Chow Facebook support group is what it's called, is really nice
really
because
all the customers will answer each other. Okay. And then you'll get answered quickly.
The same sort of thing happens on Reddit.
And on Reddit, the Keto Chow subreddit.
Okay.
And we actually do a live stream every Tuesday where we sit down for like an hour and just answer people's questions.
Amazing.
Talk about what's going on. And right now we're actually doing a live stream every day in the morning at 11:15 Eastern time.
Is that on Facebook or?
We actually are streaming it to Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch.
Amazing.
I figured out how to multicast. I can't do it to Instagram at the same time, but that's because of the weird vertical format.
Yeah, I get it. That is amazing. I'm gonna put that. And I find your website really helpful for like just the questions that I have, and I also find Reddit amazing.
Yeah. Well, different people like Reddit and different people like Facebook. So we're there for both. Yeah.
Well, I just want to say thank you. Maren just said, thanks so much for sharing. Can't wait to further experiment with Keto Chow. Got to head back to work. Talk soon.
Nice.
Well, I really want to say thank you. Man, I just appreciate you guys so much. I will save this live for 24 hours, and then we're going to also turn it into a YouTube video because there was just so much valuable information in here.
Nice. All right.
I love what you guys are doing.
Let us know when you want us back, okay?
Yes, I will. And then I'll send you my dates of when I'm coming to Utah to visit you with the baby.
Awesome.
Okay, have a good night, you guys. Bye, everyone.
Right.
Thank you for joining.
Bye.
Bye. Hi, Amber. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining. That was amazing. Like, I love Chris and Miriam. Oh my gosh, how did you guys like that? Like, that was so amazing. Hey, Chanel, guess what I have? I have your blanket. Thank you guys so much. I'm so excited. So try the Keto Chow. Tell me how you like it. Try all the different things. I would start with butter and then move up to the other fats, and then we'll just keep going from there. And I'm going to go take some magnesium right now because I need some magnesium. Bye, guys.